Hi, welcome to another session of Type Talk. Today we have Yaseen with us. He's a computer science engineer from IIT, and he has been able to convert IIM Bangalore in his second attempt. And we are going to look into his journey, his hacks, and how he went about it. So let's get started. Hi, Yaseen. Welcome.
Yeah, hi all. Welcome everyone.
Great. So I would like to start with the question that could you please tell us about your background, please?
Yeah, sure. So I had graduated in computer science and engineering in 2021 from Indian Institute of Technology Palakkad, situated in Kerala. So post that I was working as a software engineer with an MNC in Bangalore. So it was during this time that I made the second attempt of CAT, precisely while I was working. So my first attempt was in 2020 while I was a final year graduate in my college. And yeah, that's pretty much about my CAT experience and my work experience.
Okay. So the journey started in the last year of college and it continued through your first year in corporate, right?
Yeah, but to be precise, actually, I was not very serious in my first attempt. In the sense, like, see, there is a peer pressure and you have a fear of missing out. It's like either GRE or CAT or GMAT, something you have to keep. So I was not even sure of the change of pattern. Like you had a 2-hour exam, and I was even asking the security, why are you letting me out early? Because I was expecting a 3-hour paper and went. So obviously that didn't go well. But yeah, and also at that point I was not very sure. So back in the mind, I knew that it might be good if I can go into some management role, but I need to be sure that okay, software or computer science industry is not something that I truly want. So once I had a good job offer, also my thought process was like I'll work for some time, figure out whether it is the right thing that I needed to do, and then give it a serious attempt later. So my first attempt was very casual in that sense. So actually, the second attempt is the one that actually counts.
Great. But Yasin, one question that I have is that you were in this coveted computer science course in an
Hmm.
IIT and then got placed into the core branch,
Yeah,
right? That is like a dream for so many aspirants out there in itself.
yeah.
Now you took another journey to MBA, and that also from the best. So why this? Why did you go for it?
Yeah, so this was a question that was there at the back of my mind for a very long time. So I always had this thought of whether to go for a core job or go for an MBA. And why MBA when you have such an excellent career ahead in computer science field? And I was pretty good at my work also. But ultimately, what I want to say is, however philosophical it may sound, it's all about whether you like the work or not. So once I started working as a software engineer, my life revolved around computers and the people interactions, the kind of interactions that I had with other stakeholders and all got very reduced. It was limited to bugs. It was limited to feature fixes and so on and so forth. So basically, I became a techie kind of a person, which is not something that suits my personality. So at that point, I thought, okay, earlier the exit, as long as it's earlier the exit, I don't do much harm and I can pursue a different career path. So that's why I decided to work for at least 1 year so that I can be at least sure that the corporate computer science industry is not something that I would like to pursue in the long run. Maybe for a short time, I might be good at that, but in the long term, I think it requires our real dedication and passion to continue in that field. So that's why I took this decision.
So you had a rigorous CAT journey, and then came the next leg to it, which is interviews. I believe we all talk a lot about CAT and how we need to score good in CAT, but I personally also believe that there is a whole new journey after the CAT, which is interviews and the race for it. So, did you anticipate it, and how was your experience?
Yeah, so once the calls were out, I was sure that okay, I may get some good calls from good institutes, but I was totally clueless about the interview preparation and stuff like that. So I was looking around Instagram and all, and I came across btribe. So I did not enroll in any other coaching institute for the preparation at all. So btribe is the only thing I joined, and my journey took off from there. So I traveled along btribe and I came to know about different aspects. The sessions were very helpful, and also the peer group that I got over there was also very helpful because there were people who had already gone through the entire journey and who had experienced it at least once. the interview season and how it goes and so on and so forth. So those gave me good basics and how to prepare myself for the upcoming interviews. And yeah, so it started off from there.
So, um, for the particular interview of IIM Bangalore,
Hmm.
so when was your interview scheduled? How was the experience, and how did you prepare for it? Or was there any specific preparation that you did for this, or this was a generic preparation that you did for other calls as well?
Yeah, I will answer this last question first. So you definitely need to do a generic preparation is what I understand. So I think something about your basics, like where you belong to, where you studied, and your basics, general knowledge about your state and so on and so forth. So that is one part. Second is your academics. So have a decent knowledge of your academic stream. And third is about your work experience. Like have a decent knowledge about your financials of the company, the CEO, the key people over there, and these kind of things. Although it was not asked in my Bangalore interview, I was asked this quite a multiple of times in my other interviews. So the generic preparation is definitely needed. Yeah. Now coming to IIM Bangalore's interview. So my Bangalore interview was on 21st of March. So it was an online interview. And people usually say that Bangalore interviews revolve around your SOP, and but my case was completely different. So the kind of firm that I work in is a monopoly. So we have a we have an absolute monopoly in scientific computing. So the professors who started the interviews started right away with, oh, you're working in this firm, and why do you want to work in this firm? You're charging a huge amount of money from your customers, where you have decent open source options available. Now, I don't think your company has a future. Your company is going to make you lose anytime soon. So I don't see any point in you working over there. So basically, he tried to pitch a debate with me. He was a prominent advocate for open source, and I had to defend my company. So my interview, I think it was for around 40 minutes, and around for 30 minutes, it was around this. So one professor was very adamant on how open source is to be promoted, and how the company, like the organization that I work in, does not stand any chance in the future. So I think the main takeaway was that you need to be calm. I think so. This is my understanding. I do not yet know whether this the evaluation is right or not. But as soon as my interview was over, I thought this is my toughest call. All my other interviews went very well than this, because I never had this kind of an experience. So, and after all, we decided that let's agree to disagree, and that's how the interview ended. So that was my mostly the IIM Bangalore interview was around this one. So there were no specific questions about SOP as such. And also one more thing is that there was a puzzle asked, and you know, uh, amidst the heat of the interview, you won't be able to think much. So it was a trivial puzzle, but I was not able to answer, and I told it straight up front. I'm not in a position to think now. So I think we can skip this. He was very fine with it. He told, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we can skip it." I thought we can have a icebreaker session. I thought it's fine. So I think, yeah, I was worried about that part. I didn't answer the puzzle. Maybe it will hit something wrong or something, but hopefully it turned out to be good.
So, I do think that from this we can take away that being honest and being authentic really helps.
Yeah,
And
correct.
even if you don't know something, you can always tell them that you don't know it,
Yeah,
and
correct.
it is understandable, right?
Yeah. I also have a very sound knowledge of your organization. So I was able to defend my side very well, because I knew the internal workings of the organization, how the revenue was made, what is our unique selling point, how we became a monopoly, how we are standing up to the open source challenges. So I was able to put up these points really well, so that the debate could actually go on till 30 minutes. Or else if you accept your defeat at 10 minutes or something, I think it might not give it may not give a good impression. So that also helps.
Right. So, before the pandemic, these interviews, Yasin, these used to happen offline. You had to go there and face the panel, and the
Hmm.
process was completely turned virtual after the pandemic. So, what do
Hmm.
you think? Is there an advantage to it? What is your opinion about it?
Yeah, I will start with a funny incident. So, not in the IIM Bangalore interview, there was IIM CAP interview. CAP interviews were going on, and the waiting time was insanely high. So I was getting fed up, and I thought I will have some water and come. So the camera was kept on, and this CAP people actually turns it abrupt. So I went to my kitchen to get some water, and while I was coming back, it got on. So actually, I was suited up. What do you say? I was not in pants, so I wore a dhoti and I was suited up. So they actually saw that situation. It was not a good situation to be in. It's totally embarrassing. So you need to be taking care of these things in a virtual interview. Yeah, jokes apart, actually virtual interviews helps a lot because you need not travel a lot, and also it's very convenient for people who are working. You can you need not arrange for a lot of leaves, and also when you're working you need to hide it from your manager. Oh, where is this guy going every 2 days? He's going somewhere. If you have not yet shared with your manager, it actually helps if you have a virtual interview. So definitely these things are there, which are advantages in virtual interviews.
So when did interviews get over for you? How long was that? Long ago was that?
Yeah, my last interview was around 4 days back. It was SMS.
Hmm. And did you anticipate a positive result out of the IIM interview? I think you were a little dicey, like you told in your experience.
Yeah, so IIM-B, I was not that confident actually because I thought the interview didn't want to go well because it was a pure debate.
And so when the result came, I really want you to go through the entire experience of when the result came. How did you go about it? What was the reaction of your parents, your peers, your friends, your reaction? And how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, so I'm feeling very happy. So that's also a funny thing. So I was back in Delhi when these results were announced. So we went to Chandni Chowk in Delhi to try out some street food, and I got a really good time having a good food poisoning, and also I was down with fever there, and I was actually sleeping. So I did not know that the results were announced, and also we were in Sourceville, and there were fellow candidates who came for the interview. So one of them came to me and told that IIM Bangalore results are out. I was not in a position to wake up and type also, so he only checked for me. Yeah. So he told me that you're selected. So the initial reaction, to be frank, was not of a surprise, not of a joy, but of a pure shock because I recently moved to Bangalore and I was having a lot of fun here, a lot of friends and all. So the sudden realization that you're going to miss everything and you need to put up an abrupt resignation. So it was more of a shock. It took me some time to digest to that, and then I informed my parents as well as my friends. Yeah, my friends' reaction were like, "You should not inform us like this." I told them, "Hey, I have converted. I am Bangalore." So they were like, "You're converting. I am Bangalore, and you should not tell to me like this. It's a big thing." And my parents actually they do not really know about IIMs and all, so they know that this is something he likes to do, and if you get it, it's well and good. That was my reaction, and that was their reaction. Not so overwhelmed reaction, but my friends were really excited.
Great. This is one of the many monumental steps, I think, in your life. And this is going to lead into a great direction, onto bigger roles and, yeah, bigger things.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank you.
About btribe now.
Yeah.
So, how did you get to know about btribe?
So I used to follow the Bakchot page for a very long time. So frankly, that's where I came to know about BitTribe. So
But
I
why
didn't.
would you trust two anonymous people with your such a prestigious call? Like, what made you choose it?
Yeah, first thing, it is a startup. So I definitely knew that they are trying to put a mark in the field, right? So they will give their best. That I was very sure. And second was there were relatively very few number of people actually over there. So I actually was not interested to go into some giant coaching industry and where you are one of a million people and you don't actually get the proper guidance and all. So I wanted something simple and humble. So that's exactly what I found out in BTribe. So that's why I picked the city.
And what about the entire tribe? Was it diverse? Was it everyone from the computer science background? What was the differentiator for you? How did it work out?
The crowd was entirely diverse, so we had people from almost all of the backgrounds. I actually made good friends here, so I know a lot of people personally. So those things were very good about BitTribe. And also one thing I forgot to mention is that here you do not get, you're not one among the many people because you get one-on-one interaction. So the admins, they knew me by my name, my background, and so on and so forth. So whenever I used to have a query or a doubt or something, I used to give a text message to them. They would reply back to me by call or text. So it was that convenient. And for a person like me who did not have any background in interview preparations, this was very helpful. So the tribe and the B-Tribe admins are a major reason in my conversion.
Great. Uh, like you said, that working and doing this was very challenging, and in a
Mhm.
way, virtual interviews were very helpful because you didn't have to travel a lot or put a lot of time aside or leaves aside to
Yeah,
attend those, right?
correct, correct.
And what about the most challenging part of the entire preparation? Like, what was something that was a hard ball for you?
The entirely challenging portion was to stay with the current affairs. So that's very dynamic thing. It keeps on changing and changing. If you prepare your basic academics, you're done with it. If you prepare your static GK of your personal background, you're done with it. But current affairs is not something like that. Even if you had something prepared in the last week, it might have got a recent update this week. So that is where the most challenging part was. So fortunately, people in BTribe used to share the news stories, news clippings, and so on. So those were very helpful. And I also used to refer to apps like PinShots. So they used to put it in a very nice manner, very brief manner. So I used to rely on that. And also, I think reading the editorials definitely helped. So I used to do all of these religiously. So all of these helped.
So you definitely think that CAT is one leg of the preparation and interviews is another leg of preparation, and you need to put equal effort into cracking those as well.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt.
Great. Um, now, was it one more question? Was it all all study and no play for Yasin, or was there some fun also?
I'm always like a fun person. I'm not like a all study and no play person. So it was fun actually. Like I think I got to know I became a more aware person because of the interviews. I got to know a lot of facts, a lot of news happening in business, a lot of news happening in my country, and a lot more about my state, a lot more about my academic background actually. So all of these things are the fun aspect of it, and I got to meet a lot of interesting people throughout my journey. Even in, even till the last FMS interview, I met a lot of interesting people. So these are some of the fun things that you can take away with you as part of this interview preparation. So you can put a right mix, you can work also, and you can have the fun elements also in that, so that it becomes really enjoyable.
It's like a mini MBA, right? In MBA also you have to put a lot of grind, and then you have short chunks of fun also, right?
They say this, I hopefully will experience.
Right. Uh, any message that you have for the future aspirants?
Yeah, so I think all of us are unique in ourselves. So if you one thing about CAT preparation that I have to tell you is, I think it's always nice to take first 2 3 mocks without any preparation at all and see where you stand. That can actually give you a roadmap of how to plan your journey ahead with respect to CAT. So while I was giving the mocks, I came to know that my basics were really good. So I just needed to focus on my mocks so that I can leverage on my scores. But everyone's case may not be that good. So in that case, you need to work on your basics. So basically, if you can prepare, if you can without preparation, if you can give 2 3 mocks and see where you stand, you can build up from there. So that is a good strategy to adopt for CAT. I have seen many people not doing this, and people who are actually good starting from the basics, as well as people whose basics are not clear just doing the mocks. Both of them, I have seen that it doesn't work out very well at the end. So that is one thing regarding CAT preparation. And regarding interview preparation, be very well aware person about your surroundings, about your background, like basically who you are, where you studied, where you work, what is happening around you. Be very well aware. I think even if you are starting your preparation for the CAT, you can be very well aware with the newspaper. That actually helps because you don't have to actually run about it towards the end. That's what I did. It was a mistake. So if you are well read throughout the year, then it's a cake cook for you actually, at least the current affairs.
Right. And I think the new aspirants are also a little scared about the fact that um, a non-relevant or out of the blue question could be asked in an interview, and how am I supposed to deal with it? Do I have to prepare the entire atlas? So what is your take on it? Do they ask such questions, or even if they are being asked, how to handle it?
I have faced such questions a couple of times, but early exit does the minimum damage, right? Kind of politely tell that I don't know, and so that you can actually move to a topic of your strength. That's what I did, and it always helped throughout the interviews. I was even, as I told, one puzzle I could not answer in Bangalore interview. So instead of struggling around the puzzle, I thought I'm not in a position to think now. So maybe we can have the puzzles or something later. They were very okay with it. They smiled and told that, yeah, yeah, it's okay.
Great. Um, so what is the plan now? And what are you going to do now? How excited are you about your journey further?
Yeah, as excited as I am for my MBA journey, equally I'm sad also because I'm leaving my friends, leaving my job and on, and it came very suddenly. So the plan obviously is to resign. So I have not put up my resignation yet. So that's a big news in my company because no one in their lightest clue has an idea that I will go for an MBA. So I have to put up this news out there. I have to see how the reaction is and so on. So that is one thing. And second is meet everyone in Bangalore, meet, complete all the plans, all the pending plans, whatever I can in these 2 months, so that at least I leave on a happy note with almost all of the people. Those are my immediate plans.
So, Yasin, as a person, you are like, are you always into studies or you have a balance of fun?
Academics was always my priority. I won't deny that. But I was also active in my extracurricular activities in college. In fact, I was heading the Students' Council of IIT Palakkad. I was elected for the Indian student community as the General Secretary. I was also a part of the core team member of the FEST team of IIT Palakkad, and also I am an avid motorcycle rider, so I used to go for motorcycle rides whenever I get time. In fact, I have a ride coming up tomorrow morning, so I used to take part in all of these things. Actually, this helps in your MBA journey also. So I came to know that I have an acumen for management once I came to know that I really like taking part in extracurricular activities in my college. So these things were very alien to me until I started participating in organizing committees and so on. So that also helps.
Okay. And what was your motivation for MBA? Don't give me that interview why MBA answer. We all know about those. Tell me the real motivation behind your MBA. Like you
Yeah,
wanted.
I like to be with people, work in teams. So and also do some job that I really like. So get out of the world of computers, be with people and work with people. That was the real motivation.
Great. And this was a great chat with you. Even I got to know a lot of insights about the process. And I hope that the future aspirants also look into this video and can gain some knowledge about the process. And thank you so much for giving us your time, Yasin.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Gopal, and all the best to everyone who is going up for the next chat.
Thank you so much.